Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe. Welcome to Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar's Weekend Webinar. Traders, this is the weekend webinar for September 6, 2008. And traders, as you know, with all the instruction I give as day traders, day to day, where to get in, where to get out, on the weekends I like to give you a broader-based picture of where the commodity markets are going and where the stock market may go next. So what I like to do is show you a series of charts and say, okay, this likely means the next move is down or the next move is up, but in a broader-based term, not just in one market. With that in mind, traders, I guess it's probably, well, I wrote the date on the board so I wouldn't forget to tell you when. On August 5th, 2008, I had done a video, and in that video, I was ranting and raving. I was saying, traders, do you see what's happening here? There are over 27 different markets all hovering right at my Omni's proprietary moving average, and that's something that doesn't just normally happen, and that this is likely a fundamental shift taking place in the markets. In fact, in that video, I asked a question, and I said, is there a fundamental shift taking place because so many charts are hovering around the Omni's proprietary moving average? Then I brought up a series of charts for you, and in those charts, a multitude of markets were just bouncing off of the Omni's proprietary moving average. Some were breaking through it, some were getting above it, and I mentioned that probably bonds would go higher, dollars would go low, dollars would go higher, bonds would go higher, currencies across the board would go lower, commodities in the grains, meats, metals, energies should all start to go lower, and the US dollar would absorb that and just take off. Now, we didn't know for sure if that was going to happen, but in keeping you in tune with the larger picture, which is what I think the weekend webinars are for, I showed you those charts and said, get ready for some big movement in these currencies and commodities. And yes, I believe a fundamental shift is taking place. Now, traders, since that video, I have looked at the charts, and I'm going to show you a bunch of those charts. But first, I would like for you to indulge me now. And in a moment, I want to show you a clip from that video dated 08, 05, 08. Take a look at this, traders, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, traders, so you've seen those charts? Traders, are you kidding me with this? Look at this. Guys, what am I throwing out here?
The Omni proprietary
moving average. Chart after chart after chart. There is no way you can have this many markets all hovering around my proprietary moving average and that mean nothing. It is impossible that that means nothing. There is a fundamental shift taking place, traders. Out of all of those markets, we had 27 to show you. I kid you not, there were about 37 all total, but I didn't know how far I can go. And out of all of those 27 I've shown you, only 6 were pointing up. That means a lot of these commodities are going down. And you know what the whole thing tells me? Dollar index is about to begin its ascent towards the upside. What else could this mean? If all those commodities I just showed you are priced in dollars, and if they're going down, this is like a scale, right? They're going down, dollars are going up. I can't see anything else happening here unless every one of those charts or markets turns around and goes up and the dollar gets hammered. So I think that's what this whole thing means, at least it does to me, and until they prove me wrong, I think we're going to have some up move in this dollar over the 8, 10, 12 months going forward. I don't think it comes out of the chute tomorrow and blasts off. But I think this whole thing tells us our U.S. dollar is going to become strong. Okay, traders, so you see what we thought, and charts were still much, much higher in currencies, much, much lower in dollars. And I also mentioned in that video, if you go back and watch, that this also tells me that maybe if the dollar rallies, we could get capitulation in the indice markets. They'll smash down, stop going down, and maybe some trading turn will come. I also said this doesn't happen right away. First, I think you get the commodities down, you get the currencies down, you get the dollar to rally, you get the bonds to rally, basically due to a European flight to quality into U.S. bonds, and then you get the capitulation snap down, the markets finally hit rock bottom, and then maybe move higher. That part I don't think we're at yet, but we're certainly at the point where the dollars are moving higher, currencies are moving lower, meats, metals, grains, you name it, commodities across the board, energies, they're all moving lower, and I think so far so good on the story that we thought this all meant. So with no further ado, traders, let's go look at some charts. Now, I'm going to give you a sampling of each of those sectors. I'm not going to show you all 27 charts, but I'll give you a sampling of each sector, and then you do your homework and tell me if you don't see a fundamental shift taking place. Okay, traders, that clip you just seen, we thought the whole thing, the whole package means dollar index should rally. Here's exactly where we were when we shot that video on August 5th in the dollar index. You are looking at a September dollar index. And watch where the dollar index goes next. Okay, traders, you cannot deny what is here before your eyes. We were way down here when we took a look at that, and look at the extent of the rally the U.S. dollar has put in. Oddly enough, it started off with an inverted head and shoulders, and you know how much I love looking for head and shoulders. When they're inverted, they're bullish. When they're upright, they're bearish. This was absolutely a bullish look. We got above the Omni Proprietary. We got you prepared for that right here. And look at the size rally that has taken place. Now, that's the dollar index. If it were just the dollar index, a fundamental shift would be a ridiculous thing to think about. It's just a market to trade. But wait until you see the effect that this had on a bunch of other commodities and currencies, and what's starting to now happen in the indice markets. Let's look at more charts here. Okay, traders, you are now looking at the euro currency September market. That red arrow is exactly where we were in the video on August 5th. And if I was right in my theory that all of these markets hovering around the Omni Proprietary and then breaking them would mean currencies down, dollar up, that should mean euro currency and other currencies of the world have broken hard, right? This is the date of August 5th. Let's go move forward now to today's chart and see where we are in euro currency. Okay, traders, you are looking at the euro currency. Look at the chart on the left and look at this one. We broke the Omni Proprietary. Here was the date we did the video, August 5th. Look at the size of the breakdown in euro currency. Again, it started with a head and shoulders formation and then broke. Many of the charts I'm about to show you not only were breaking the Omni's Proprietary at that point in time on August 5th, but they also put in head and shoulders, either inverted and they got above the Omni Proprietary, or upright like this, and they got below the Omni Proprietary. But look, traders, there is no denying the size of that move. Let's go look at another currency, and then we will take just a sampling of metals, of grains, of energies, and we'll take a look at what each sector has done since we warned you that there was a fundamental shift coming. Okay, traders, this is the British pound September bar, and once again, we mentioned to you on August 5th right here that boy, oh boy, it looks to me like a big break is coming our way, and I think I can show you a big break. Wait till you see this next chart. You're going to fall off your chairs. Check this one out. Traders, look at the British pound on the left, August 5th. Look at this chart now on the right. I mean, come on now. Is there any denying what happened here? Look at the size of that break. We're talking from the 195, 194.5 area down to 176. Wow, is that a move or what? That's British pounds. September bar. That's the beginning of this lesson. Wait till you see the rest of these charts. Remember, traders, that video August 5th was to prepare you for what was likely happening next, which in our view at the Omni Trading Academy was that a fundamental shift was taking place. You've seen a couple of currencies. Let's go look now at the rest of the universe of commodities and see what's happening out there. Okay, traders, you've seen it in currencies. Now we're looking at metals, a sampling of the metals. I just pulled the silver chart. We were right here at that red arrow August 5th when I showed you and warned you that something likely is going to happen here. Let's go take a look at where we are now in September silver. Are you kidding me, traders? Look at this. Look at what's happened since we broke the Omni Proprietary. And check this out. Another little head and shoulders forms right before the break. A head and shoulders forms pointing down. We get below the Omni Proprietary with this market and 27 other ones at the same time. And then we start realizing something big will likely happen on the downside in most of the commodity markets. Look at the way silver broke. We're talking from the $18 mark down to almost the $12 mark in silver. This has happened since August 8th, traders. This is only September 9th, or excuse me, this is only September 6th. This is a month and a day since we realized something was happening here, and I think it's only the beginning of our fundamental shift. Let's look forward. Okay, traders, the next sample that we were taking to show you was out of the grain sector. Look at soybeans. Soybeans was right here at the red arrow when we gave the video and the warning that, like a bunch of other commodities, these grains would likely break lower now, and it had a head and shoulders, and you'll see that in the next chart. So you have a head and shoulders upright pointing towards the downside. You get below the Omni Proprietary moving average, and watch what happens to this one. Okay, traders, look at what happened with the beans. It put in that head and shoulders I was telling you about. Most important, though, it got below the Omni Proprietary and stayed there. We were right here when we shot the video on August 5th. Look at it, rallied up a little bit, hit the Omni Proprietary one more time, and broke severely. And now it looks like grains, like the rest of the commodities, are in a teeter-totter with dollars on one end and all the other commodities and currencies on the other. If dollar goes up, the rest of this stuff goes down. Traders, that is the lesson here. It is a very good lesson. I am an analyst that's been doing this for 26 years. When I see something like this, I try to prepare my crowd for it. Once again, you see it in another sector. This is in the grain sector. Let's go look at a different sector now, because this happened across the board. Okay, traders, it couldn't possibly be a coincidence if it's happening in currencies and metals and grains. Now take a look at a meat market. This very same chart I showed you was live cattle, October live cattle. Another one that put in a head and shoulders formation and then started to hover around the Omni Proprietary moving average. I'm going to slip this to the left. Take a look at the next chart that pulls up. Okay, traders, we were here. This is the very same chart. This is live cattle October. Here's where we were in that video, August 8th, and look at the break. We get below the Omni Proprietary right here. Breakdown, little rally, breakdown, now below the 200 bar moving average, and most likely, as long as dollars continue to move higher, these commodities are going to continue to move lower. Traders, this isn't the end. There are more. We're looking at more sectors now. Watch this. Okay, traders, in that very same video, dated August 5th, I put this chart before your eyes. It is September U.S. bonds. And I said, with all the action taking place on the downside in the commodities and currencies, it most likely means a run up in the bonds. Take a look at that little red arrow, because here's where we were in bonds, and watch what happened since then. Okay, traders, this is where we are now in September. Daily bonds, this is for September 6th. Right here for August 5th, I showed you we were here. This part of the chart did not exist, and I mentioned that now we're above the Omni Proprietary. I believe we're going to skyrocket in bonds. Look at the size of the move bonds have made since then. So it has to be a fundamental shift if all the markets that we thought were going to move in certain directions actually went in those directions. Traders, this is not about us trying to show you how right we were. Who cares about that? This is about us trying to prepare you to get ready for the next big trading turn. Now you should have confidence when I call these trading turns, because I called it here before it happened, and away it went. We will be able to handle the next big shift together, I assure you, especially if you come on down to the Omni Trading Academy. It's www.livewithoscar.com. Grab yourselves a free membership and let us teach you how to see this happen before it does occur. Okay, traders, this is one of the markets that nobody thought would continue going lower, right? The crude oil. It is one of the markets that I pulled up before your eyes on August 5th, and I said, this is not immune to it. This is going down with the rest of the commodities. Here's where we were with that little red arrow when I pointed this out to you and called for some big action on the downside. Let's see where crude oil is today. Okay, traders, here's where we were. Here's where we are now. We are below the 200 bar moving average. We stayed below the Omni proprietary, and it looks to me like they can lean on this even further. If dollars continue to go up, crude has no choice but to continue to go down. Yes, fundamental news can come out. Shutdowns can happen. There could be an OPEC meeting and they decide to back off on production, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter if it pops for a little while because markets will go where they were planning on going. Does not matter what kind of interference governments try to play. So I say, as long as dollar does this, you're going to see crude do that. Let's look at another chart here. Okay, traders, one of the last things you heard me say to you was that the likelihood of us being correct, and this is back on August 5th, if we are correct, then we should end up with some sort of capitulation drop in the indice markets. If dollar takes off, currencies get smacked on the downside. If meats, metals, grains, and you name the other sectors of commodities all get hit on the downside, that should probably give us a rush down capitulation in the S&P and indice markets. And after that, maybe we can bottom out and get out of this mess and turn back into a bull market. Well, if that's the case, so far all the other markets are going where we expected. That means that this should turn around and drop down, and in a very severe way, especially if there's going to be capitulation, right? Let's take a look at where the NASDAQ is now. That's the NASDAQ daily bar, which I held before you on August 5th, last month. I'm going to slide that to the left right now. Let me show you where we are today. Okay, traders. Same chart, only up till today. You're seeing what happened since August 5th, then till today. Look at the size of the drop and how quick it's starting to happen. Huge daily bars starting to break to the downside. This could bring us our capitulation. I'm not calling for it an exact day. I don't even know if this is the right time for it to happen. I would think out further this year, if not into next year. But when it comes, it comes. I can't control that. I can say this. We were here. Everybody started to get long. We got above the Omni proprietary just a little and could not get above the 200 bar. You've seen it fail here. You've seen it fail here. And then you've seen it fail here. And look at the size of the breaks that we're starting to get. Is this capitulation? Well, I don't know that for sure, but I do see a fundamental shift taking place. And if that's the case, at some point, this will start to bottom out and then send itself back up. Traders, do your homework. Remember, this is the larger picture. We are day traders, so you can't trade every day based on what we're pointing out here, but you can start trading with your bias towards this happening. Traders, you see those charts? Are you kidding me? It's not possible that we could have made those calls and all of these charts went where we thought they would go if there wasn't some kind of fundamental shift. I kid you not. You see it before your eyes. I want you to get ready the next time this happens. Traders, I tell you what we can do with this. You've seen the currencies break. You've seen a lot of markets break. Bonds go up. Well, they all will take a little breather, and currencies will go back up a little, and dollar will pull down a little, and all the other markets will get back into a groove where we can then get in. The first big move happened. That means we know we got direction right. So what you Omniacs need to do now, whoever didn't catch the first move, sit tight and don't worry about it, because we will catch the next one. They will set up for us, traders. You know us. We're watching this every day and every night, and we will tell you when to jump in. But the direction that you're looking at now in a longer-term view on all those markets should continue in that fashion. And then hopefully, we'll get the breakdown that we're looking for in the S&Ps and the other indices, and then finally the turnaround and get out of this mess. Until that happens, don't fall in love with the upside in the S&P or any of the U.S. indices. Don't forget, Europe is just now, and the rest of the world for that matter, is just now beginning to feel the effects that we've already felt, that the government's already taken action upon. The government has lowered rates to the point it's starting to spur a little bit of action. The government has taken care of some of the biggest bank failures already. We've already addressed our problems. A lot of other countries on this planet are just beginning to see those problems in their own countries, which means the U.S. stock market's probably the first one that's going to recover out of this mess, out of the huge markets that are out there. I think the rest of the world sees this. That's why a lot of them are buying our U.S. bonds, knowing that the U.S. is probably going to shore up before the other countries do as far as the economic turmoil is concerned. So they're buying our dollars, they're buying our bonds. That means soon they're going to buy our stocks. But not today, traders. Don't fall in love with the upside. Don't think that the trading turn is in. But get ready for it to start to act like something that maybe has gone down a little too far after the next big push to the downside. Let's see what that gives us, traders. I hope these webinars are helping you. I hope all those charts I just showed you are helping you. I hope you come on down to the Omni Trading Academy again. It's www.livewithoscar.com. Traders, we are no children at this. We are no kids fooling around. We have a handle on what's going on. We know how to teach you how to read the charts. We know a wealth of technical analysis. We know how to blend the fundamentals into the technical analysis because they always come out in the charts first. And we know how to teach you how to get that part of it right. Trading is something completely different, traders. You can give the high and low in tomorrow's market to 100 traders and get 99 losers and 1 winner. So the trading of what you've seen is not the easiest thing to do, but at least if I can point out to you which way the markets are likely going to go, you have a much better shot of calling it correctly. Okay, traders, I hope you like this. I hope you come on down to the site, and please give me a call, 702-629-4755. And as always, keep sending me those emails to oscar@futuresanalysts.com. All right, traders, I think that's all I'm going to do in this video. There's a lot of homework for you to now do. One thing I got to throw out there is on Friday, the indice markets, all of the indice markets, from what I've seen, put in what we like to call... You know what? How about we do this? Why don't I just hold off on that? I don't want to give you too much to look at. You traders who come to my site on Sunday evening, I'm going to point out something to you that happened in all of the indice markets, which should give us a handle on how to trade them Sunday night into Monday. So come on down to the site, grab a free membership, come into the chat rooms, and let me show you how to trade this thing for Sunday into Monday. All right, traders, remember, say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out.
Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided. That being said, I am a 24-year seasoned trader on and off the floors. This is how I've made my living for many, many years. Good luck trading.